You probably never thought your semen had anything to do with how long you'll live. Most men think of semen purely in terms of fertility, can I have kids or not? But a groundbreaking new study just turned that assumption on its head. Hi, I'm Dr. Max, urologist and men's health expert. Today, we're diving into a study that tracked nearly 78,000 men for up to 50 years, and found something wild. It turns out, the quality of your sperm might be more than just about fertility. It might be a window into your long-term health, even how long you're likely to live. Let that sink in for a second. Not your blood pressure, not your cholesterol, but the quality of your ejaculate might be quietly predicting how long you'll be around. And what this study found, especially about the connection between sperm motility and longevity, is something every man should hear. Because your body might be telling you something important, and it could be hiding in plain sight. Let's break it down. Back in 1965, researchers at Copenhagen University Hospital began collecting semen samples from men who were being evaluated due to couple infertility. It might have seemed routine at the time, just another diagnostic procedure, but what emerged over the following decades was anything but ordinary. Over the years, they amassed data on more than 78,000 men. For each man, they recorded details like semen volume, total sperm count, the percentage of sperm that were motile, meaning that they could actively swim, and even how many had a normal shape. Eventually, these researchers had built one of the largest and most detailed semen databases on the planet. Then they did something powerful. They waited. Not a few months, not just a handful of years. They tracked these men into middle age and beyond, up to 50 years later in some cases. And what they discovered is nothing short of staggering. Men whose semen showed the highest quality, specifically those with more than 120 million motile sperm, tended to live an average of 2 to 3 years longer than those with very low motile counts, like fewer than 5 million. That's not a small difference, it's a measurable shift in lifespan. What makes this finding even more compelling is what happened next. The researchers adjusted the data to account for factors you might expect to influence lifespan, things like education level, socioeconomic status, and prior medical diagnoses. Still, the results stood firm. Higher semen quality consistently aligned with better survival. Let that sink in for a moment. Now, you might be thinking, does that mean infertile or low-count sperm are dangerous? The answer is no, not directly. What it does mean is that semen quality may act like a dashboard light in your car. It signals underlying health issues, not necessarily causes them. Consider what sperm production requires: balanced hormones, healthy circulation, robust cellular function, and lower levels of inflammation or oxidative stress. If those systems are faltering, sperm production is often one of the first things to show it. Your semen may not just tell you about fertility, it may give a window into cardiovascular health, metabolic function, hormone balance, and even your body's resilience to toxins or aging. In effect, poor semen quality is not a cause of worse health outcomes, but it can be an early warning sign, a biological red flag that something deeper might be going on. As I explain in the rest of this video, that data opens up a new framing. Semen testing becomes more than fertility screening. It can be an early checkpoint in a man's health journey. If your motile sperm count is low, it doesn't just mean fertility challenges. It could mean it's time to take a closer look at your hormones, your heart, your inflammation markers, and your lifestyle. This is not just science. It's a wake-up call. Most men only think about getting their semen tested when they're trying to have kids. Fertility becomes the only context. You walk into a clinic, give a sample, and walk out hoping for a green light on parenthood. But what if we've been thinking too small? Because what this new research suggests is that semen testing could be much more than a tool for making babies. It might actually be a way to catch deeper health risks early years or even decades before you feel the first symptom. And that's why this study is being called a landmark in men's health. Researchers are now digging deeper into the connection between semen quality and specific health outcomes. They're not just looking at total sperm count or motility anymore. They're investigating whether poor semen quality can act as a predictor of serious conditions, things like heart disease, certain types of cancer, and even metabolic disorders. They're exploring new biomarkers in the semen itself, trying to uncover whether patterns in sperm health are tied to larger systemic issues. So, let's say you're a man in your 30s or 40s. Maybe fatherhood isn't even on your radar. But what is? Your energy levels, your long-term health, your ability to stay sharp, strong, and active. What if a semen test could give you a preview of where things are headed not just reproductively, but across your entire health span? That's the real power here. It's not about panicking over sperm counts. It's about recognizing that this simple, underused test might be one of the clearest signals your body can send. And using that signal wisely early could help you take action before a hidden issue becomes a real problem. Honestly, maybe. Because here's the truth. Semen quality isn't just about your ability to conceive a child. It's a mirror of your entire internal system. When you get a semen analysis, you're not just learning about sperm count or motility. You're getting insight into your hormone levels, your metabolic function, your immune resilience, and even how much damage your body might be taking from environmental exposures like toxins, pollution, or stress. Professor John Aitken, a world-renowned expert in male fertility, suggests that one of the main culprits behind this link is something called oxidative stress. That's a state where your body's natural defense systems are overwhelmed by free radicals, unstable molecules that damage healthy cells. Oxidative stress is a known driver of aging and chronic disease, and yes, it also impacts sperm quality. Studies show that men with poor semen quality often have elevated markers of oxidative stress. And here's where it gets interesting. Professor Aitken asks the question, what if managing that stress through things like nutrition, regular exercise, targeted supplements, and avoiding known toxins could not only boost your fertility, but also extend your life? That's not science fiction. That's a new way of understanding male health. Could a semen analysis be the canary in the coal mine? Could it be the quiet early warning that tells you something's off before it shows up as heart disease, diabetes, or worse? It's worth thinking about. Now, no study is perfect. This one had limitations too. The researchers didn't have complete data on lifestyle habits like smoking, alcohol use, diet, or physical activity, especially for men tested before the late 1980s. And they couldn't always tell why a man had zero motile sperm. Sometimes it's a biological blockage. Other times it's something more systemic. That uncertainty is part of the picture. But even with those gaps, the signal from this data is strong. You don't need a perfect study when you're looking at nearly 78,000 men followed over 50 years. This isn't just about reproduction. It's about what your reproductive health is telling you about your whole system. It's about identifying risks before they spiral out of control. It's about catching degeneration early enough to reverse it. So here's the bottom line. If you've ever had a semen analysis, or if you've been thinking about one, understand that this test goes deeper than you might expect. A low motile sperm count doesn't just mean you might struggle to have kids. It could be a sign that your hormones are out of balance, your cardiovascular system is under strain, or your body is showing early signs of inflammation and wear. And if your numbers are great, that's a positive sign, but it doesn't mean you can ignore the rest. It just tells you your body's systems are currently working well. That's not a free pass, it's a green light to keep doing what's working. The truth is, a semen analysis might be one of the most underused diagnostic tools in men's health. It gives you a window into your biology, often years before symptoms would ever appear. And maybe it's time we started listening to what that test is trying to tell us. Thanks for watching. If this gave you a new way to think about your health, hit that like button and share it with someone who needs to hear it. Got questions? Drop them in the comments. I read them. I answer them. And I'm here to help. Stay strong, stay informed, and I'll see you in the next one.